Hi guys, have you ever been curious about what goes in things? I mean, what's inside of them? Sometimes it's just too tempting to have a look-see, is it not? Just look around you. We're surrounded by so many interesting objects. We see how they look on the outside, but we never normally look inside. So why don't we have a look at some of them in this video? I'm sure you'll be very surprised. Maybe you'll be shocked even. I don't know. Either way, let's have a look, huh? Guys, have you ever heard this sound? Well, if you hear it out in the wild, you better run, because this sound indicates that there's a rattlesnake nearby. Now, this is how its rattle looks when cut in half. It's made of keratin. That's the same stuff human nails are made of, for instance. So apparently, the rattle happens when the snake raises its tail and starts shaking it. Those loosely fit segments inside collide against each other, producing the famous sound. This model shows what happens to the surface of a spaceship when it hits space debris. Small aluminum sphere that moves about 4.2 miles per hour hits the 7-inch thick metal plate. The diameter of the hole is 3.5 inches and the depth is about 2 inches. Not bad, huh? Now, imagine what can happen to a spaceship if it gets hit by space debris of a larger caliber. Now that's a very big sequoia tree. This picture shows how old it is. Its first ring appeared in the middle of the 5th century, so it was brought down many years later in 1891. This means that it's 1,341 years old. This is what Golden Gate Bridge cable looks like. The bridge has two main cables. They appear rather small when you look at them from afar. Here you can see how massive they are. They're made of 27,000 galvanized wires that are bundled into 61 strands. Its total diameter is 92 centimeters. That's almost 1 meter. Imagine that. Pterocarpus angolensis, also known as the bloodwood. This African species produces dark red sap that kind of looks like blood. That's why they call it bloodwood. It's a very popular tree. People make furniture from it. Also, it's great for building canoes because it's very firm and don't swell up in water. And those are banana tree trunks. What's interesting is that they're not actually trees because there's no wood tissue. It's more of a herb plant actually. The trunks are widely used in Asian cuisine. Locals believe that the very middle of those things are good for your system. Here's a cross-section of the submarine power cable. It's the only way to transmit electricity underwater. They can be used in both fresh and saline water. For example, this cable goes through St. Lawrence River. For many years, people have been admiring pearls. And indeed, pearls are synonymous to sophistication. But have you ever seen what's inside of them? Not a lot of people know how beautiful they are inside. Pearls are formed when a parasite works its way into an oyster or clam. Parts of its defense mechanism creates the fluid to absorb the parasite. Then it creates layers of coating, which finally becomes a pearl. Usually, a frag grenade gets made of some solid synthetic material or steel that parts into many pieces after explosion. Although some modern grenades use ready-made fragmentation matrix, which is a lot more convenient. Fukang meteorite is one of the most beautiful meteorites ever found by man. It was found in northwest China. So this cosmic rock is a kind of palisade. It's got beautiful pieces of olivine crystals in it, which makes it look very cool. Research suggests that this piece of cosmic body is 4.5 billion years old, so it's as old as the planet Earth. Do you guys have any idea what this can be? How about you pause the video and give your answers in the comments? I'll tell you what it is at the end of the video. It's gonna be fun. And this is how fireworks looks inside. Well, I'd really like to see it bang. Vaccine container, the keg of life. These types of containers have two metal layers and in between there's a vacuum foil protection, plastic ice containers, and other things that protect the vaccines. And this is a bowling ball. You didn't expect that, did you? This weird looking thing is called weight block, and it gives the ball the impulse to roll accurately. Although not all bowling balls are the same. There are two different ways of making them, and sometimes both methods are used simultaneously. Did you guys know that a turtle shell is an integral part of its body? So it's not just a thing the turtle can leave behind whenever it pleases. So basically you can't just take the turtle out without hurting it. It's so responsible for cartoon makers to make it seem like it's possible, because it just isn't. Land Rover cut in half. This way you can really see what it looks like on the inside. Split apple rock, aka Takangafa. This rock can be found in the whereabouts of New Zealand. Some say it cracked because of the heat, the waves, the wind, and other natural phenomena. Others say that it happened when the gods were fighting. This is what a baseball really looks like. Baseballs have a long history of development. First they had a rubber center. Back in the days they weren't heavy at all, maybe about 100 grams. Although such lightweight made it difficult for players to make accurate throws. So that's why they decided to put the crock in the middle. But then the ball started swelling in wet weather. Which is why it was finally decided to use the double rubber layer. That allowed for maximum accuracy, proper weight, and protection from rain. Oh no, this isn't a robot. This is adding machine. It's a mechanic calculator used specifically for accounting calculations up until 1970s. A poppy capsule. Looks very pretty, although people with trypophobia will most likely faint at the sight of it. This is a Zippo Lighter, a very good and high quality brand indeed. No wonder they're so popular, although I imagine they had a bit more intricate mechanism inside. People tend to think that wasps are hostile, but that's not true. In reality, these guys are harmless. It's just that you should avoid irritating them. So how do you think they build their homes? Well, they put together pieces of bark, adding some ferments. They spit it out in the form of a kind of pulp, which ultimately makes for a very high quality building material. Looks pretty weird, like from those alien movies. There are about 2,000 types of cactuses. All of them have different forms, colors, and habitat. What's pretty interesting is that some cactuses produce mescaline, which is a psychedelic alkaloid that can make you hallucinate. A CT scanner. Pretty complex piece of technology, and it does look like a spaceship. This is a Leica camera lens. They've been making those for 9 years, from 1998 till 2007. They have an incredibly complex design for a lens, and they're kind of pricey. You can still buy these on eBay, but right now the price is higher than ever. You'll never guess what this is. It's a piece of wood that was used for paint mixing for well over 50 years. And this is a model of a tank. Great opportunity to explore this thing for those with claustrophobia. A tree fern. It is assumed that ferns are some of the oldest plants in the world. There are 10,560 types of ferns known to man. These can grow really tall, up to 25 meters high. That's like a very big house. A hockey helmet and a rugby helmet. You can tell which game entails more skull damage, right? A pipe. That thing all around it is calcium congestion. It's from a water treatment plant. The workers cut the pipe to find out what was causing the low flow problem, and they found this. Wow, that looks awesome. It's a Soviet submarine. The photo was taken at the shipyard during disassembling. Alright, and now for this weird thing I showed you guys earlier. So this is a pinecone, although it looks very weird when cut in half, right? Okay guys, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, go ahead and press both the like button and the bell if you want to stay tuned for more interesting videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.